few minutes for people to come on, because you know me, I just surprise people. You know I was coming on, but maybe didn't know I would go live. It's always a last minute thing. We have tons to talk about. Welcome to the Psychic News Network. When I do my church, I play music while I'm waiting for people to come along, but I don't have anything. Oh, I could ring the start bell. It's been a tumultuous week so far, and it's only Wednesday. Moon today is in Cancer. Just went into Cancer. So happy hump day, happy Wednesday. I hope you're all hanging in there. It's not lost on me that the last thing I said in my last video was about Roe versus Wade, remember? And then later on, I was watching Rachel Maddow when she got the breaking news of the leak from the Supreme Court. Hello, 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 welcome. Decided to go on live and talk about what we're all going through. So, yeah, it was the last thing that I said last time was Roe versus Wade. It's gonna go into effect, and then it's gonna our rights will be reinstated. So. That night, I guess it was Monday, right? That night, I heard the news, and I had a fitful night's sleep, as a lot of you probably did too, because I just could feel the anger and the outrage and the, good to see you too. I could just feel it Monday night. It was like, oh my God, are they really gonna do that? It's been nipping at our heels for a long time. I was out there protesting in October. I had a protest sign yesterday. I went up to New Hampshire and I was meeting my niece for dinner. Actually, we went to a witch store, and that's always fun. And I had a sign with me, and I thought, well, you know, I might bump into a protest. And sure enough, I bumped into a protest in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. All the protests were at the state houses, and Concord was just a little too far, New Hampshire. And so anyway, I handed off my sign to somebody because I had plans with my niece. So I was like, here, take this sign. But I was glad that I had it with me. The sign said, keep your fascist hands off women's bodies. It's unbelievable. We are really, you know, and I felt it, and I used to not sleep well at all. I used to not sleep at all in my life in the past, and so I'm okay on very little sleep, but it's been a long time since I had a fitful night's sleep, and I was picking up on the collective energy about how upset everybody is, and rightfully so. Honestly, I feel like it's going to take heinous things for enough people to jump on board with saving democracy. It's taking heinous things. I never watched The Handmaid's Tale, but I'm going to watch The Handmaid's Tale because I've never watched it because I always thought the whole concept was so scary. I like that. The system is broken, but we will not be. That's the kind of attitude we have to have. We cannot afford, I know we're all extremely angry, and we've been angry since Monday. We cannot afford to not do something with that anger. Just working with people one-on-one personally, that's one of the most terrible things that I see is people that are angry and they just don't do anything productive with it. So we have a really important task in front of us. Do not go back to sleep. It's really important. I'm grateful to the heavens that I started Grassroots of Democracy, especially with all this going on, because at least we have a group together. And here's where I pitch. Join Grassroots of Democracy. I'm not asking you for anything. It's an opportunity to come together and work together on projects to save our democracy, emails, putting plans together about what we'll do. We're in the process right now of having t-shirts made. We're working on the design. Different people in the group have that talent. The t-shirts will say woke, the acronym being we offer kind energy. That's what being woke is, and we should be woke and proud. So I guess if there's good news, there's always good news. There's always a better perspective to look at things, from. One is that it's not the law of the land yet. We do have time. Back in October, we knew we would have some time. We didn't know that this was just going to come down the way that it did. So we do have time. It's right in front of us what needs to be done. And, we're looking at blessings in disguise. Hi, Canada. We're looking at blessings in disguise. A blessing in disguise, because we have to look for those, is that if this doesn't do it, nothing will. If this doesn't get people activated, then nothing will. And, I guess we can look at that as a blessing in disguise. So let's take a look at some cards and questions. If anybody has a question, post it. I don't really have a specific list. The main issues have been, Don Jr. was in front of the January 6th committee today. I have a feeling that they're playing, I don't know, I have a feeling that they're playing dumb. The Trump kids are playing dumb. As we speak, I think there's a debate going on in Pennsylvania with Oz, and oh my gosh, this is the cast of characters of clowns that are running for office this year is horrifying. So that's going on. What else is going on? Oh, so my pendulum my pendulum was affected by my aversion to J.D. Vance. So as you know, he won. Pendulum's not 100% all the time. Nothing is. Nothing in the psychic realm is 100%. I do think my pendulum got affected a little bit by my aversion to J.D. Vance. Not that Mandela was a better choice. None of them are great. Really, let's get on board to... Oh yeah, I'll read on that, the Supreme Court. Let's get on board to help Tim Ryan. Let's get on board to help all the Democrats. Oh, grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. Type AYE in the subject line. No obligation at all. You receive an invite to the Zoom meeting every Thursday. And Saturdays too. Alright, here we go. So Corey's back. I'm just reading your question. So Corey's back. I just texted Corey because I told him that you all miss Corey, so. They have cheating down. You're talking about J.D. Vance? Oh, that's interesting. Are you talking about J.D. Vance one? Didn't win? Get out and vote. And also, are we Zooming tomorrow? Good to know. Hello! Hi, Joy. So, I just don't know where to begin. So Corey's back. I just texted him before I came on just to see if he was back. He's back. Okay, so Friday night, we're doing a live on Friday night. Okay, so let's just take a few moments and hi Catherine. Let's take a few moments because we need this. This is therapy. To look at the blessings in disguise. That we have investigative journalism, we have people leaking important information, we have whistleblowers. Yes, we definitely have to pray for J.D. Vance to lose. He's a hypocrite of all hypocrites, and I cannot even look at him. There's a lot of them that I can't even look at. I can only handle hearing them for a few moments, and then I have to turn it down. So the information is leaking that we need. I know the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing is going on. Johnny Depp is innocent. Johnny Depp is innocent. I have the ability to know when somebody's lying. That's just my psych impression. That's not based on, I don't know anything about Amber Heard. Of course I've seen Johnny Depp. I just feel like she's lying. We can look at some cards about that too. Positive things, people. Put them in the chat. Positive things to think about. Because when you watch the news, you know you're getting all the negative. It was a primary. Yeah, it was a primary. So we'll start with, let's just start with January 6th. The January 6th committee, Don Jr., what did John Jr. have for the January 6th committee? Let us see. I hope you had a good Wednesday. She doesn't. Oh gosh, there's so much to keep track of. I don't know about Rhode Island, but I'll have to look. This is about Don Jr. and today, how it went today. I feel like Tim Ryan will win. Okay, so putting the positive, that's positive. That's positive. Putting the positive news out. When is Pluto going into Aquarius? I don't know. I know it is, but I don't know when it is. January 6th committee and Don Jr. I think I did read on Zelensky feeling about all the arms coming his way. Did you see him light up like a Christmas tree when he saw Nancy Pelosi? The Ukrainians are getting way ahead. Just so you know. They're crashing bottles next door. There's a bar next door. Anyway. My really good friend who does my hair, she had a place called the Beauty Bar. It was right next door to a bar. It just reminded me of that. Anyway, here we are. Very positive for Tim Ryan to win. Very positive. Okay, I like it. Keep posting the good stuff. I think we'll kick butt in the midterms too. Day drinking getting started. That's funny. Okay, so Don Jr., we'll get to your questions too. I wish I had a secretary. I could write them all down. It's not illegal to, yeah, that is good news. So we have freedom. Let's keep it, shall we? Want to keep it? Let's keep the freedom. Sounds good to me. This is a January 6th committee and Don Jr. That's like stuck. He's not. He doesn't want to tell. It's kind of like he's up there with a gag on, you know, with duct tape over his mouth. They got a little bit from him. They got a species of mushrooms that feed on what? Yes, I did know that. I did know that. And actually, I did in one of my readings with Corey, I said that I see, we're talking about Don Jr., but I'm going to answer the mushroom thing. I think, I don't know when Putin's having surgery. I had a vision of, they've discovered this species of mushroom that can eat plastic, and I have a vision of a time, not too long from now, where we'll be able to scoop this thing into our plastics, like our bucket of plastic stuff. I hate plastic. Can't avoid it. And it will eat the plastic. So anyway, somebody just put that up there. We're posting good news in the chat, okay? So the thumbs up. Okay, that's good news. I want everyone to post good news in the chat because we need to be uplifted. And when we watch the news, we kind of only get the drama, drastic, you know. We got to know about the negative to motivate us. So I don't know what his surgery is. Putin, Don Jr. Try to keep up. Summer's almost here. Yes. Yes. Thank you for appreciating that I'm making the democracy group bigger. Grassroots of democracy. January 6th committee and Don Jr. They got a little bit of information, but it was pretty much, oh, that's great. Packaging for mushrooms and avocados. I'm liking it. Yes, show us your garden. And this is the January 6th committee just kind of taking what they could use from Don Jr.'s like duct tape over his mouth testimony, answering questions. The Four of Wands, the January 6th committee is sitting pretty with information. Pluto will pay a brief visit to Aquarius from March until in 2023. Okay, so Dolly Parton was actually Veggies for Planting. She actually turned down being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I guess she changed her mind. It's spring, kind of. We shall overcome. I'm liking it. Everybody read the chat. Oh, nice. Granite countertops. Very nice. Where I live, it used to be a granite mining area. Okay. So, okay, well, we can jump to Putin for a moment. We can also jump to who leaked the information. We can jump to some of the elections. Yes, this is it. We've got this, ladies. We've got this, and the men are going to help too. We will fight back, and we will overcome. Let's briefly look at Putin, because somebody was saying something about Putin being in surgery. I'm not really sure where that leak is coming from. Yes, keep the positives in the chat. Oh, Israel, hello, welcome. Putin's health. Where's everyone getting this information about Putin having surgery? I mean, I psychically pick up that he's not doing well health-wise at all. I totally get that. The lies are gone. I like that. That's nice. Visualize it. Where are you getting the information? Oh yeah, Dolly's great. I used to live in Nashville. I never bumped into Dolly in Nashville, but oh, thank you. I'm trying to keep them on so I can read the chat. They're just readers from the drugstore. Everyone tells me you should get prescriptions. I'm like, what? These work fine. Yeah, Dolly Parton. People that would bump into her said she was the sweetest lady, but I never bumped into her when I lived in Nashville. Putin has a lot of health problems. He's trying to walk away from them, but they keep following him. So this is Putin and his health problems. Two of Wands, he's still at it. And he's getting people executed, the guides just said. Entertainment purposes only. Recycling is great, it's just that you don't know if it's actually being recycled. That's the problem. China was taking a lot of our plastics for a long time, and then one day they were just like, enough! Everybody's beautiful! That's an old song, I think. Everything is beautiful. Really old song. The Emperor. Putin really does actually think he's the Tsar. He really feels like he's the Tsar. More and more, when I tune into him, it's like, he's in his own world. He's in his own delusional world. He's really, why would he fake his death? Oh my gosh, he's too... You know that song? I mean, it just popped in my head. I have no idea who sang it. Probably from the 1970s. If you want to listen to some songs that are uppers, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Dionne Warwick. You can throw up your... Oh, Ray Stevens, okay. You can throw up your favorite songs that have uplifting lyrics or an uplifting beat or all of that. I've answered that before, Dawn. I've answered housing prices. That it's going to be the end of 2023. Before housing prices get more reasonable. Oh, cool. I was at the pendulum store yesterday, but I didn't get a new pendulum because I made myself not get a new pendulum. That's a good song. Don't worry, be happy. I made myself not buy a new pendulum because I already have 4. But you know what I did? Go to your local witch store. This one is called Deadwick's, and it's in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And they made me my own personal oil, special oil. So let's try it on now. I'm on top of the world. Yeah, there's a lot of oldies. People are posting uplifting songs, uplifting news. So Putin, it looks like he's in a delusional world of, he really thinks he's the czar. But I'm going to, I can't read that. I'm going to see a little bit beyond for Putin. Why would he fake his death? My next pendulum class is this weekend, and I have like 2 spots left in the May 14th. I'll keep teaching it. This is more about Putin. The devil. I really feel like with Putin that people are sending him so many hateful vibes that it's actually taking him down. Give peace a chance. P-A-C-E. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's a good one to sing. That's a fun one to sing. So anyway, this is Putin. This is Vlad. The negative vibrations within him and around him are really making him very, very fragilely ill. The star card comes in. Oh, this is interesting. The star card represents the United States and the world, NATO coming together. We're going to see, I believe we're going to see some advancements for the Ukrainians. I don't know if I know Let's Get Loud. Okay, so meanwhile back in the United States with the Supreme Court. Let's ask the pendulum. Let's ask this question about the Supreme Court. Also, we're writing good news in the chat too. Good things to think about and great uplifting songs. Let's look at what effect this leak about what SCOTUS is going to decide on Roe versus Wade, what effect this will have on the Supreme Court. We'll just kind of go general like that. Hey, you like my flowers? Tears for Fears. Wow, now we're going way back. They're not real, but I had to get some flowers. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Boy, you guys are going you're digging way back. Way back. Steve Miller, that's a great song. Great song. Supreme Court, okay, 6 of Swords. They are really going to try to hide a lot. It's despicable. You know, Joy Reid just a little while ago, she had a list of all the countries of the world that where there are no reproductive rights. And so you can Google this. Which countries of the world have no reproductive rights? And you look at it, and they're not like developed countries for the most part. You know, the United States for some time has been the most prosperous country in the world, and maybe not so much anymore, but the United States of America has been the guiding light for democracy, and now America is getting ready to be on the list of countries, the most consummate democracy on the planet. The United States of America is getting ready to be on the list of countries that don't offer reproductive rights. We got to get to work, people. We've got to get to work. This cannot stand. So this is the Supreme Court trying to weave its way through this mess they've just made. A lot of what we're seeing, you know, with the DeSantis's and the Abbotts and the abortion rights being taken away, a lot of what we're seeing has not been thought through. And this is the Supreme Court having to really, you know, answer a lot of questions. And then here's the women. Now I feel like Kamala Harris is going to spearhead a movement to not let this happen. I'm getting that very strongly. She's going to spearhead some kind of legislative action or government action. Kamala Harris is going to figure something out to get them, you know, down, Supreme Court, down, you know, like, sit down for a minute. This is Amy Coney Barrett. Kind of looks like Amy Coney Barrett. If These Walls Could Talk. Isn't that a scary movie? Yeah. Amy Coney Barrett, man. The way they pushed her through. Elizabeth Warren, definitely. I posted on my community page, Elizabeth Warren having had enough of these people. It was really brilliant. And then I heard somebody complain about her voice. I'm like, who cares what her voice is like? I mean, when we're yelling at the top of our lungs, we probably don't sound so delightful either. Okay, If These Walls Could Talk. I was actually thinking about a scary movie. But I don't know if that's the name of it. It was a different movie. What's wrong with our country? Let me explain this. What's wrong with our country is we're going backwards because this is what happens in a healing. When things are getting good, when things are getting better, and I want to check out that song. I know, Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris. Kev Mo put a woman in charge. I really like that. So anyway, in a healing process, when things are getting better, and this is personal and this is, you know, on the collective level too. You get to a certain point. It's like 3 steps forward, 5 steps back. 5 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's kind of a back and forth. And so we're growing at an exponential rate in terms of, you know, like the diversity in this country. I mean, I've been out and about and I've seen a lot of people that are more open about their sexuality in terms of, you know, what they're expressing as kind of, you know, it's different now. Things are different now. So things are getting better, but the dark side and the people that can't handle change are having to pull us back. The reason I have a sign behind me that says, "We give thanks that darkness reminds us of light," it's very apropos to what we're going through. We're all being called to push forward through this stuff. We need to plow through this insanity and this darkness and this hatred, and it requires all of us to be on board. And that's the only way we become stronger. That's the only way that we attain the strength that we need as a country, is to resist the darkness and the evil. That's the only way it can happen. It's almost like, you know, when you're like, to get a running start, you have to like really get really amped up before you can really take off. And this is like, women have been oppressed for so long, and this is in our DNA. Generations and generations and generations, but not only that, lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of women being oppressed. And the men don't want to let up. The patriarchal, the insecure, the mean, the evil, the hateful men don't want to give up. And they need to give up because they're destroying the planet. And if we care about this, just the planet alone, do we think that the Republicans, if they got in office, would be taking care of Mother Earth? Hell no! So this Roe versus Wade situation has a divine purpose of waking us up and making us so extremely angry, and not to be afraid of that anger, but to use it to really mobilize us. And we have to have our voting rights. So we have a ton of work to do. That's what I said earlier. It's a pendulum swing. I talked about that the other night. Exactly, Glenn. So I really, last night, just thinking about what's going on, I was like, I am so grateful that I had the download to start Grassroots of Democracy. I don't think Robert's leaked it himself. Well, look. And the interesting thing, I mean, what you're saying about it's pro-birth, they don't care after the child is born. When I talk about that, they're not thinking it through with any, like Ron DeSantis, for example, going after Disney, not thinking it through. I know the abortion thing is a way kind of a bigger deal, and it's really because they're trying to govern what you can do with your body. We are the world. It's not really about Roe versus Wade is not about pro-life. It's not about that. It's about control. We'll look at whether Roberts leaked it. It's about control. So anyway, this is a call. This is like the clarion call. People, look at what happens if we don't pay attention. Somebody on the news was saying, a woman on the news who was in one of the southern states, it might have been Louisiana. Anyway, what was happening was she was watching these women come in, mostly minorities, for health care that needed abortions, probably could not afford to raise a child, and they didn't know what was going on, why they couldn't get one. We need to pay attention. And the thing that's bone chilling is the government now has a right to tell us what we can do with our bodies. The implications of that are huge. So my point is, this is happening at the gym and you lift weights, or you go run, or you do something, but it's hard. You don't get the result that you need. You don't get the high quality result that you need. You don't get to your goal unless it's difficult, or at least unless you really exert some energy, right? There was a slogan in the past that said no pain, no gain. It was about working out. Kind of true. Doesn't make working out that attractive, but no pain, no gain. We're feeling the pain. We are feeling the pain. And I was saying earlier that I know how unhealthy it is for a person to hold on to their anger and to not do something productive with it. And it would be very, very painful for us to do nothing. Don't do that to yourselves. Anyone who's listening, don't do that to yourself. Join us, join other organizations. Grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. Just type I in the subject line. I'm so grateful that we have a group. Really. Tell everyone. Tell the other psychics on YouTube. You know? I'll reach out too. Oh, I wasn't really asking a specific question, but because I was talking about that, I don't know, sometimes I'm just pulling cards and I don't even know I'm pulling cards. The judgment, this is a karma card. They shall reap what they have sown, and so shall we. And like I was just saying, this is what we need to get strong. And the Page of Swords, we have just begun to fight. We have just begun to fight. You might have noticed that I posted in my community page, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And you know, this next generation coming up, they're not going to put up with this patriarchy crap. You know what I'm saying? They're just not. Does anyone have a question? Okay. I don't see anybody saying anything, so I'm wondering if you have a question or if I just so like captivated you with my speech. Okay. All right, I'm gonna ask something. I noticed the chat stopped, so I don't know if I stopped. Somebody say hello. I'll keep going. We have to fight back. I'm gonna ask. Okay, somebody was asking who leaked who leaked this decision. The chat just stopped. I don't know what's going on. Who leaked this decision? So I guess I'll just go ahead and be like I'm just doing a recorded video. So who leaked this decision was somebody who was like a stab to the heart what they were doing. It was very, very upsetting to somebody. Personally. They were personally very upset. The Ten of Wands, and they saw what a burden that it is. That taking away Roe versus Wade. They saw what a burden that it is to take away women's rights. And it was a stab to their heart what they were picking up about what was going on. And the Knight of Swords. It's actually, I don't feel like it was Roberts. I feel like it was somebody younger and somebody who was just mortified by what was happening, what was going on. So, I feel like it was a younger person. So, I don't know why the chat stops. This is very strange. Okay. We'll keep going. Just in case it didn't actually stop. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones. Oh, I can't sing too long because they'll take this down completely. If I don't see anybody else in the chat, because my chat just stopped, I'm going to probably go because I'm not sure if I'm actually on. And maybe I'll come back. Okay, I will read another question. What's going to happen? So this is slated to happen in June. The women's rights are slated to be taken away in June. Let's see if that's going to happen. It's terrible. I feel like you all left. Huh. Was it something that I said that YouTube stopped me? The Magician, the Ace of Wands. The communication from the women is going to make a big difference. The Magician, it's going to turn things around. From the women especially. And it's going to be, it looks like it's going to go back to being revisited in the Supreme Court. I'm not saying that they're not going to go ahead with taking away Roe versus Wade, but I see things being kind of slowed down for a bit. So we will, we'll see. I'm seeing a wrench being thrown in the works. That's what I'm seeing right here. Okay. So, since you all disappeared, I'm feeling like something happened because I don't think that you would just stop talking. So I'm going to go for now and be back either in a bit. I'm going to check my pendulum and see what my pendulum says about what's going on. And it looks like nothing's happening, so it looks like things froze up. Let me check it out and I'll come back in a few minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Okay.